like the robot takeover in another dimension in these dreams. You know, and so I was already kind of a dreamer, someone with a large imagination in a good way that was thinking about the future. In fact, I was looking back at that time period when I was young and traveling around. At one point, I was in 6 high schools in a single calendar year, and I've seen stuff I've written in English class. Portland, the year 2033. I'm on 12th and Hawthorne. I get on a time machine, something straight out of H.G. Wells. It's 2033, and I'm 16. I'm writing this. It's 1996. I was born in 80, 31 now. Going to be 33 in 2013. That'll be fun. That's synchronistic. But I'm sitting there, 16 years old, 1996, writing about waking up one day. I get on a time machine, and there are computers serving us food, and I got no ID card. And all of a sudden, a computer cop comes over and is like, "Where's your ID? What are you doing eating here? Oh, you're one of those non-humans. You've got to come with us." And that was the end of the dream, or that was the end of the... 1999, though, things started escalating, 2000, and it was like I entered into my own little dark ages, stemming from confusion as to who I was. Coming from a broken family. Mom that yelled a lot and dad that yelled a lot, and really going, what is this? And I'm half Afghan, half white, and I'm living in this empire, and I'm living in a strange city like Portland, and I'm already different because I got an interesting soul, whoever the hell I am. So I'm just trying to assimilate into your friggin' system, okay? I'm just trying to assimilate. And I've been, you know, between 13 and 18, I had moved probably well over 15 times. Six high schools in a single calendar year. Neither of my parents wanted to deal with being a parent, so there was that year where I just got pushed back and forth. I think I did quite well because martial arts was my outlet. Again, I got involved in that because I'm thinking one day the grid's going out, there will be no ammunition, you want to survive, you want to protect your loved one, you learn to fight with your bare hands. It's that simple. Not to be a male prostitute and do the MMA thing and hump your brother and do this whole, I'm going to submit you, tap out, tap out. I mean, it's just so, not to offend, homoerotic. It's just so barbaric. It's just so Roman. This is not what you do with your body. You defend your women, you defend your tribe, you stand up for yourself, you stand up for your country. You don't be a human cockfighter. What are you friggin' thinking? Out of the pool. Out of the damn pool. 1999 comes around. Let me wrap this story up, and then we'll take... do we have a phone call waiting? Okay, we'll start taking phone calls here in a couple minutes if anybody wants to call in. And I'm thinking something's coming around the corner. And the energy shift in the air was so strong. I felt that something was coming that it depressed me. And so I'm working at Fred Meyer's, which is already a depressing place. I had that stuff go down with my family. And I'm trying to figure out who I am. I'm also chasing a part of me that I was not meant to live. That's not based in, say, the higher self. It was based in more something that maybe we're led to believe we should chase. What we're led to believe is tough and badass and really real. And so really young, some people never pop out of the paradigm. I popped out of that paradigm at 19. I had a shift in going, I'm not going to go down that road. But then I didn't know what direction. I didn't have the information. You see why information is good in healing? I didn't have the proper coordinates as to who I was and what my role was on earth and why I had this information, why I was feeling these feelings. So my best friend introduces the needle to me. Well, the rest is history. And I did quite well in those 4 years as far as not getting hurt like some people. But throughout those experiences that I had, which one day I'll write about, I was shown how protected I was. That I was supposed to play a greater role. I'm still supposed to play a greater role and fit into shoes I have not yet been presented with yet, but will one day, and have to evolve up to that point in my soul path. So there I was, and I'm sharing my story because it is healing to other people that are also going through the same thing. The pain went away, those realities, that reality went away in 2003, 2004, when the energy on this planet started to shift again. The New World Order staged a war Okay, on the 19th day of March 2003. I remember watching that when I was renting a place on Hawthorne over by 50-something. And I saw that going down the screen. I'm like, I have to be there on the corner of 3rd and Southwest Burnside. I have to bear witness to this. I must bear witness to this. There is some shift taking place. There's a lot of people sitting on that ground. They already invaded my dad's country. I don't have a good relationship with my dad. I live in a racist culture. I need to understand what's my part in this. Who's Alex Ansary? Not Aziz Ansary or my mother. I won't mention her name. She's very paranoid about me ever saying anything about her. I haven't talked to my dad in years. I haven't talked to my mom in months because I think the very sound of my voice makes her skin crawl. It's so upsetting to her that I'm on the path that I'm on now and that I'm presenting this information. She thinks most of this is complete BS. And that when these shifts happen, the good ones that gave tribute to Ashtar or whatever else, whatever other thing she believes in, will be beamed up to the spacecraft. And there's things that I can't say are not going to happen. I just won't go there. But we're all here to play major roles on this earth. And make a long story short, in 2004, my world shifted when I came here to Access TV. And most of the people that I wanted to interview would come on the show pretty easily. And there was a lot of synchronicity that's been following me around the last numerological and also meeting people. We are all one. We're all droplets in that ocean, in this sea. We are all individual cells that are individual, but all linked up and connected to the larger web. So without getting into my whole life story, the nuts and bolts of all that was that I came to Earth with a unique set of challenges and traumatic things that happened to me early on, dealing with the parental situation and also the genetic background that has led me to believe that I came to Earth to clean up bad karma. And other people came to Earth to clean up bad karma. That we are actually handed cards in life that we're supposed to look at and go, what am I going to do with this information to make my world a better place, my life a better place, to make the world a better place? And so now I'm kind of moving into philosophy. 9/11, 10 years later, because this is really about an expansion of consciousness, not calling for a bloody revolution in the streets. Which reality do you want? There is a splitting of consciousness that is taking place. Feels like a splitting of the cell. Now, whether it's linked in with Comet of Lenin, there's so many people out there that are convinced the end of the world is coming to some sort of a catastrophic event from this comet. Elenin, as it's known. See, guys, if you can Google anything on Comet Elenin. Planet X, things of that nature. The brown star, the brown star, the red star, the dwarf star. You're hearing these buzzwords. Clyde Lewis, every night on Ground Zero, 101.1. See, now him and the Portland Preparedness Center are those guys that hired me to set up a store for them. Now they're working with Clyde so they can scare people through every major event to get them to come down and buy their overpriced items. You're hearing about these things, and some of these things are very possible. But I've been through this for 6 or 7 years, watching people run to these hysterical patterns of basically preparing for the end on certain dates without realizing that we truly don't know the day or the hour, but we are in an era of great change. So the best way to be prepared is to run around helping others, whether you're going to provide information about what the system's doing, whether you're going to be a healer, whether you're teaching Reiki or Qigong, or ways to work with our energy to maintain a grounded state of consciousness of being. However you deal with 9/11 was an inside job is up to you, but there's more ways to deal with healing what's happened on this planet and also with what this country has done to the Native Americans. There are more things that you can do than do a show like this and put your face out there. You can be a good person. You can help others that are trying to get the word out. I've been homeless for well over a year. And because of the fact that not a lot of people have even mentioned the idea of helping, has led me to believe I'm not here to just have things stable. I'm here to go through stuff and evolve through it and talk about it as I go through really intense stuff that most people don't have to deal with, because I've chosen to play the role that I'm playing. I've chosen to do this. That's why I've been evicted from certain houses in Portland. They don't want someone like me potentially bringing heat on the household. When martial law is declared, Alex Ansary, they will come here looking for you. Or the guy that was really drinking the Obama Kool-Aid, he heard me, no more black helicopters, my friends. Let's keep it with the conversational topics. I love the graphics. I'm thinking the Airwolf theme though. Dun 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 dun, coming to get you. Oh no, we're certainly not trying to frighten people tonight. Kind of losing my train of thought because there's so many things that I wanted to talk about. And there's so many things that I wanted to mention. And there's so many dots that I'm trying to connect. And there's so many ways I'm trying to break outside the box. There's so many ways I'm trying to.
Got a 3-minute roll-in.
Perhaps. What's the rolling on?
It's exploding projectiles on the Twin Towers.
Well, you can play the visual. Okay, Bill wants to play the visual on the explosion of the towers. And I do want to mention that I walked by the Federal Building in downtown Portland, and you know what? Let me just report it here, folks. Bill, you're going to love this one. The Federal Building downtown where the IRS is held, all the offices are gone because they're remodeling the whole building. It's going to look like the World Trade Center in New York City or something. It's like a lot of money's going into that. I sure hope there's never an event that comes to Portland, Oregon, but say if there was some sort of scare or something involving the Federal Building, just know, you heard it here first, that they are actually refitting the whole building and redoing the whole thing. I really wonder about the role Portland could play in all of this. But what I want to say is that I'm going to be going to Dallas, Texas on Tuesday because I need to seek better opportunities for myself and have somewhat of a stable living situation so that I can continue to produce content. And so the universe has been my guide, and I have my food storage in storage. I'm leaving with literally nothing but the clothes on my back, in trust and faith in the universe that I will travel safely through the TSA line. I have not flown since 2005. So I welcome everyone's prayers tonight. Everyone's prayers tonight as I go through the New World Order's airport security system. Because of everything that I've done the last 6 years, I could use those prayers as I walk through the belly of the beast. I fear no racism in Dallas or Texas because I faced it here in Portland, Oregon. I really do experience and see how women are affected by the programming on TV when it deals with sexual assaults from black men or Mexicans when they promote these stories, or even white guys. It's out of balance. And I live in a city that, frankly, I'm looking forward to meeting some people, making new friends outside of this city, because even though we live in metropolises, there's a certain level of fear of thy brother, fear of thy sister, that's very unique energetically to Portland, Oregon. And I know New York has its own vibe, LA has its own vibe, Portland has its own vibe, Seattle has its own vibe, but I'm looking forward to feeling some other energy for a while. This is my home. I do love the city. I do feel connected to the spirit. I do feel, though, the greater spiritual forces taking me away from Portland for a while so I can learn something new. And Bill, we're not playing that video tonight because, frankly, most of the people here are familiar with the explosives in the building and the controversy around that. But I will say this. I will say that Jim Fetzer, I haven't said this before, Jim Fetzer does have a compelling argument about other factors that may have contributed to the buildings coming down in New York City. And we must think about this. We must think about the possibility. We must